Hi, welcome to Joy Hub. We're Barry and Tracy, and we help teams, leaders, and couples journey into deeper joy.
Yeah, and we're going to start a series that intuitively doesn't sound like it relates to joy very much, and that is dealing with conflict. But actually, this can, we believe, and we've grown a lot in this, we're still growing in this, but we definitely believe this can be helpful to preserve our joy. And so, why this topic? Because we're human. Because in marriage, in teams, at work, there's going to be personality clashes. There's going to be egos that war against each other. There's just going to be times that we're misunderstood. And so this is a skill that is very, very important. And I was also thinking, like, yeah, bosses, you should care a lot about this because studies say that performance decreases when there's relational strain at work. That there's actually, when conflict is not dealt with, it really negatively affects your retention rate of your employees. So this really does matter a lot.
It does matter. And I know I'm someone who is conflict avoiding. I don't love conflict. A perfect day would be no conflict, but that's not real life at work or in family scenarios. I mean, there's always going to be conflict. So why not have a plan for how you're going to handle conflict, because you know you're going to face it, so that you're not in the heat of the moment trying to decide, what am I supposed to do right now with this conflict? And so let's just start by saying, what are the two types of conflict? And so there's destructive conflict, and then there's constructive conflict. And so destructive conflict is really characterized, I would say, by coming against the other person. You are in the conflict to win the conflict. You are coming at them saying you. So a lot of the statements are about coming toward the other person to win. It can get personal and it can be hostile. And so that just doesn't result in any resolution typically, because if both persons are coming at it as you, then you're not going to get very far in the conflict, and there's not going to be a resolution other than maybe just ending the conflict and not speaking anymore, which isn't a good resolution.
Well, there's some of us who are so messed up that we think we walk away from stuff like that and think we won.
You did not win. You did not win if that's the outcome. So that's destructive conflict. We want to avoid that. And sometimes we have baggage and patterns of life from our family history. So you've got to really ask yourself, what are patterns I might have that are destructive when I'm handling conflict? And so we want to move toward constructive conflict. And for some people, you might even be thinking, how can there be constructive conflict? But it's a big part of relationships and teams, is learning how to work through things in a constructive way. And that's coming together. Destructive was coming against. This is coming together to collaborate. So you're really coming into the conflict saying, this is how I feel. So a lot of I statements, not coming at the other person. And then you're opening yourself up to hear what their I statements are. And then you try to find a mutually beneficial solution. So you're not trying to win. They're not trying to win. You're trying to get to a point of where you can kind of be objective about the issue and come up with a solution together. And I think that's the difference between the two styles. And it just takes time to really work on constructive conflict, for yourself and for your communication style. But one of my favorite quotes says, the best and most efficient workplaces are not the ones without conflict, but the ones that handle conflict constructively.
And the same with marriages too.
Yes.
And this feels so easy when we're sitting right here and we're in good moods and there's no conflict. It feels like it's going to be simple and easy, but we all know when we get into it, it's hard work. And so we're going to take the next several episodes to unpack some more about oftentimes what are sources of conflict, what are some strategies to deal with conflict. So we just invite you to tune in. We hope that it's helpful. If you plan to watch, we would ask you to go ahead and subscribe now so you're notified when new content comes out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.